one of the first, in fact, I think the first interview we did and posted on social media was with a man who found himself unwittingly at the very epicentre of the parliamentary protest because his pub, the Backbencher, was ground zero, basically, for the protest and all the craziness that went on. Indeed, his dockway or his loading bay was taken over by the protesters at one stage as their food and welfare centre. And we went down to talk to Alistair Boycie, and I thought he'd be angry and everything, but he had a somewhat sanguine and I thought rather mature attitude to what he found himself in the centre of. And once he asked the protesters to get out of his dockway and let him run his business, they did exactly that. Well, I was down there and I popped in and had a beer with Boycie when I picked up my, be still my beating heart, my press pass the other day. And I thought it would be great for us to have another chat with Boycie on air about, well, life after the protest and where things are at. So he joins us now wearing a very fetching platform T-shirt, which he may have got gratis, which in fact he did. Boycie, g'day, mate. Welcome to the platform again.
It's a pleasure to be here.
Firstly, how is business? Are things back to normal at the Backbencher?
No, absolutely not. The situation is still similar to pre-protest. We're operating, the CBD of Wellington is only operating on less than 70%, as are all the businesses. So small businesses, especially in the CBDs, are being squeezed out of the economy. The only winners in this economy are big business, big banks, or monopolistic institutions like gas or supermarkets, banks, etc.
Now, why are you being squeezed? Because all the public servants aren't coming back into town?
No, and the new model is probably just that. So the government have led a new model for business and CBDs where it is absolutely at least 30% work from home. This is a major change to the microeconomy of New Zealand. We're a traditionally thriving CBDs drive economies, especially in the Auckland one. So the Auckland one is similar, but Wellington is absolutely nowhere near normal, and small businesses are getting squeezed out.
So in some ways you are still under siege. It's just a siege you can't see.
Yeah, we've got a government who, in their naivety and their response to COVID, has developed a situation where the middle class is getting squeezed out, and so is small business. And this has been happening, obviously, all the way through COVID. We all understood in the first year. And the second year, they've just dropped the ball. They're behind the eight ball on all the decision-making. The labour market is the tightest in living memory. I can't even provide an infrastructure with labour that could make money in this economy, let alone get enough sales in this economy. So it's being squeezed. So we've been in recession for some time, industries like tourism, obviously, and hospitality especially. And there's other industries that have also been squeezed out and in their own recession. So we're heading into a bigger recession. Because once you squeeze the money out of the middle classes, you no longer have the economic driver. You don't have the multiplier effect. So it's squeezing down. There's lots of Tesla cars on the road, you'll notice. And that was a government-inspired decision to fund lots of electric cars. So money's being spent, but it's not being spent in the microeconomies. It's feeding larger business, corporate entities, international entities. And this is no conspiracy theory. This is just the reality on the streets of Wellington.
So still tough for your business, Boycie, even if you aren't surrounded by protesters?
Yep.
Have you heard
Nothing's
from any
changed.
of them?
We just had a protest in the meantime.
Did you make any friendships there? Have you heard from any of the protesters, or are you glad to see the back of them?
No, there was lots of good people there. Your survey still exemplifies who was there, and that's still not out in the open because the government never opened a dialogue. They never acknowledged them. So all these people are still out there all around the country, all still feeling marginalised. They were cast adrift from society and economy. as are small business, as are lots of people. This government is dividing the country in a number of ways, hence your co-governance that you've been referring to earlier in the show.
Boycie, are the politicians back eating your food and pulling pints?
If you watch Parliament, I do quite regularly, because you'll see that at least half of them are on Zoom.
Okay.
So they're not back. I see David Seymour. I see Winston Peters. I see Nicola Willis. I see the new government coming.
Yeah. All right. Oh, you're predicting. Okay, this is the pub poll. You're saying the government's going to change.
Yes.
All right. Now the puppets, which the pub is absolutely famous for, which originally started. Did you buy the old stock from Gibson Group when they made the spitting image puppet stuff? Is that how that
we
started?
used to lease them, and all of those ones went in the fires 9 years ago.
Yeah.
10 years ago. So they're all new puppets. So they're exceptional quality, I have to say, and we've got a new one coming.
Yeah, now what's the new one? Tell us about this. This.
Well, it has to be Luxon, of course. So he's coming along shortly. And
how hard was that, though? You'd just get a big soccer ball, wouldn't you? And stick some ears on it.
Yeah, his face is pretty much featureless, isn't it?
Yeah.
No, I think an egg is more the way to go.
Okay, and when are you going to launch that?
Oh, well, we haven't decided yet.
Do you think?
We're waiting.
Okay, and normally the politicians come along to the launch of their puppets, don't they?
Oh, they might just zoom in. I don't know. It seems to be what they do these days.
All right, so still doing it tough, Boycie, and you don't think, it doesn't sound like you think things have improved or changed much since those protests.
No, the government policies are reactive. They don't constitute any help for small business and areas of the economy that were disastrously affected by the government response to the pandemic and the pandemic itself. We need some change. The inflation and stagflation is coming. The productivity is really, really low in Wellington and probably the whole many industries. So then you've got inflation, you've got low productivity, and we're heading for trouble.
All right. Well, I now have, for the first time in many years this century, press gallery accreditation in the past, so I'll do what I can to boost your business by patronage.
Anything we can get, you're more than welcome. You're always welcome here, Sean Plunkett.
All right.
Just like your father was before you.
Thank you, Boycie. That is Alistair Boyce, publican at the Backbencher Tavern. Oh, he didn't sound chirpy. I think it didn't sound too chirpy about things. But there is going to be a Luxon puppet. How nice. A Luxon puppet. I wonder if Luxon will turn up for the launch of his puppet. Don't forget, he doesn't drink. So probably not a pub guy.